where she'd shot him the first couple of times, but he'd pursued her across the town square, along with George Farmer and several others. She shot him again in the magazine aisle of the Pack and Go. That was finally when he went down. Before he died, he'd managed to lift his head, his voice shredded and nothing more than a croak, as he attempted to speak her name. Shauna. A sharp bang echoed from the opposite end of the convenience store. Shauna braced herself, gripping the rifle tighter. Come on, fucker. Another bang, louder than the first. Then the rushing sound of ghost feet, or bat wings, or old Miss Brennan's pantyhose came charging down the aisles. Bags of potato chips and plastic tubs of motor oil exploded up into the air like a shark's dorsal fin cleaving through water. It was hunting for her. Shauna executed one final glance in the spotty mirror above the register and saw, or thought she saw, for it was there and then gone in a single instant if it was even there in the first place, the flickering visage of something large and thin, and so pale she could see the burnt umber of the setting sun shining right through its shimmering, translucent flesh. Soda bottles burst off the shelves directly behind her, and loose coins sprayed the linoleum. Shauna jumped up, swung the rifle around, and screamed as she pulled the trigger. Part 1. The Storm. Chapter 1. The newscaster with the plastic-looking face and the electric yellow tie spoke of doom. Todd Curry glanced up at the screen just as an HD map of the Midwest replaced the newscaster. A digital white mass blipped across the state, moving in staggered increments across the screen, completely obliterating Chicago and the surrounding suburbs. At Gate 16 of Chicago's O'Hare International Airport, a number of people groaned in unison. For a moment, Todd thought it was in response to the digital snowstorm on the flat-screen television set, but then he looked over to the check-in counter and saw that Flight 218 to Des Moines, his flight, had been delayed another hour. Son of a bitch, he whispered to himself. The snowstorm will continue through the evening and well into tomorrow afternoon, which is bad news for a number of commuters who are desperately trying to make it home this Christmas Eve, the newscaster said, grinning like a ventriloquist's dummy in high definition despite the bad news. Downtown Chicago has already been hit with 6 inches, and some of the outlying areas may see as much as 15 inches before this storm passes. So, unfortunately, for all you holiday travelers, there appears to be little reprieve in sight. Back to you, Donna. This is bullshit, grunted an enormous man in a Chicago Bulls sweatshirt and cargo pants that looked like they were cut from the fabric of a multicolored circus tent. The man was sweating profusely and balancing a triangular Sbarro's pizza box on his left knee. His small, squinty eyes shot over to Todd, who was seated 2 chairs away. You believe this? You just watch, buddy. They're going to cancel this flight. Sounds like my luck, he returned. In his lap, his hands wrestled with each other, while between his feet his laptop sat in its nylon carrying case. Like someone anticipating a horrible telephone call, Todd's eyes kept shooting back to the flat-screen TV bolted to one of the rafters above the rows of seats. On the screen, a mildly attractive woman in a burgundy pantsuit was shaking her head at the unfortunate weather conditions. That's their little trick, the big guy in the Bulls sweatshirt went on, jabbing an index finger roughly the size of a kielbasa at the check-in counter's electronic screen. Right now, they know this flight's been canceled. Hell, look outside. Doesn't take a meteor-fuckinologist to see we ain't leaving the ground anytime soon. The big guy was right. Over the past hour, the walls of plate glass windows had become great sightless cataracts, blinded by twirling, billowing snow. Todd could just barely make out the vague dinosaur shapes of the airplanes on the tarmac, gray and indistinct beasts fading into the background the longer he looked at them. They keep saying the flight's delayed, just to weed out the more impatient travelers, said the man. He had his pizza box opened now, and he was trying to gather up the messy slice inside with his overlarge fingers. They get a few boneheads going up to the counter, changing their flights and asking pointless questions before they slink away like dogs who have been beat for nosing around in the kitchen trash. Indeed, a small line had already formed in front of the check-in counter, though it did not seem to be moving very quickly. You just watch, said the man in the bull sweatshirt.